Welcome to IBDeditorials.com. Obama and Ayers' Anneberg Failure by Investors Business Daily, October 14th, 2008. Education. The joint effort between Barack Obama and terrorist William Ayers to, quote, reform, unquote, Chicago schools was a flop. After spending $160 million, Chicago's children were still being left behind. It was, and some say still is, his only claim to have executive experience qualifying him for high government office. Quote, "My experience previous to elected office equips me for the job," unquote, Obama said in a 2000 televised debate during a failed campaign to unseat incumbent Democratic Congressman Bobby Rush. Of that experience, Obama said, quote, "I have chaired major philanthropic efforts on the city, like the Chicago Anneberg Challenge, CAC, that gave $50 million to prompt school reform efforts throughout the city," unquote. It was an impressive line on anyone's resume. It was also a flop. Obama ran the fiscal arm that distributed grants to schools and raised matching funds. Ayers participated in a second entity known as the Chicago School Reform Collaborative, the operational arm that worked with grant recipients. They met and talked often. Ayers was more interested in transforming Chicago schools into vehicles for socialist revolution than in reading scores. He sought to use Anneberg's grant to fund his dream of radicalizing both teachers and students. Obama helped him toward that goal, gaining what he thought would be an important credential. Like most efforts to improve the government monopoly by throwing money at it, the CAC was a failure, and a costly one at that. The grant was conditioned on raising at least twice that amount in matching funds. With the grant, CAC had $160 million to throw at the problem. The CAC operated in 210 Chicago schools between 1996 and 2001. At the CAC's conclusion, an evaluation report was prepared entitled The Chicago Anneberg Challenge: Successes, Failures, and Lessons for the Future Final Technical Report of the Chicago Anneberg Research Project. On page 14 of the executive summary, we find that, quote, "the challenge had little impact on student outcomes," unquote. On page 15, the report says, quote, "there were no statistically significant differences between Anneberg schools and non-Anneberg schools in rates of achievement gain, and that any improvements were much like those occurring in demographically similar non-Anneberg schools," unquote. In 1998 and 99, just 36% of the Anneberg school students in grades 3 through 8 were reading at or above national norms, compared with 35% in Chicago schools citywide. In math, the results were similar. Some 43% of Anneberg students were at or above national norms versus 42% for non-Anneberg students. High school graduation rates for both groups of students were the same at 40%. The Anneberg schools edged out Chicago schools in dropout rates, 35% to 36%. As the report said, there were no signs of improvement that warranted the expenditure of $160 million. The CAC did not improve the schools, and in some ways made things worse. The executive summary also notes, quote, "classroom behavior, students' sense of self-efficacy, and social competence were weaker in 2001 than before the challenge," unquote. The report stated, quote, "in 2001, students in Anneberg schools were somewhat less inclined than in 1994 to respect each other, work well together, and help each other learn," unquote. Neither student attitudes nor student achievements were aided by Obama's efforts. Based on these results, Barack Obama would have trouble getting chosen as a high school principal. Yet he thought they were worthy of promoting him first to congressman and now to the presidency of the United States. When Obama collected the endorsement of the American Federation of Teachers, he told the teachers that support for alternatives to the education monopoly amounted to, quote, "tired rhetoric about vouchers and school choice," unquote, even though efforts like the DC Opportunity Scholarship, unlike those of the CAC, have produced stunning improvements. Not being left behind are Obama's daughters, who attend the private University of Chicago laboratory schools. There the tuition ranges from $15,528 for kindergarten to $20,445 for high school. When asked about it during last year's YouTube debate, Senator Obama responded that it was, quote, "the best option," unquote, for his children. They had a choice. Obama would deny others. Copyright 2008, Investors Business Daily. Read to you by OutloudOpinion. For more podcasts, visit IBDeditorials.com.